Business Honoring Spirituality. And this morning we had an amazing speaker come to us and a webinar.
Great morning here at BHS, and I intend to be back soon.
Hello, BHS. Welcome to another Thursday morning networking meeting. My name's Anthony Pritchard. I'm the meeting planner, and today I'm doing double duty. So I'm also going to pray us in before our presenter, Jerome Wade, to speak to us about being an elite producer and achieving extraordinary results. So if you're willing and ready, I invite you to just take a relaxing breath and close your eyes for a brief grounding prayer to set the intention for today's meeting. In this treatment, I take a relaxing breath and dismiss any distractions that may lie in front of me for today. I just sit in this present moment, knowing that the divine presence is all around. There is a spiritual presence, and it is in this present moment, and that's the gift of breathing into right here and right now. And I know in this place that I am also connected to the divine spiritual gifts that are all around me, and that my job is to only be observant and aware when they come into my space so that I can grab them up, and then I can say no to the things that are not for me. And I know that this is divine spiritual intuition, and that I have never made a mistake. I've only experienced a learning opportunity. And I know this to be true for everyone that's here watching this broadcast today. I know that there are tips, and there are shortcuts, there are tricks, there are ways to increase my performance, my productivity. And I'm open to hearing those new ideas from our speaker, Jerome Wade, today. I know that he is drawing us on a path of improvement and on personal and professional development. And so I'm just grateful for that opportunity here today, this morning, to help me with feeling more accomplished in this week as I finish it off in this Thursday and Friday. I'm grateful for Jerome sharing his time with us today. I'm grateful for all the viewers who have joined us on this broadcast today, and for this special group that we call BHS. In this gratitude, I acknowledge this treatment, this prayer, this meditation. I release it up into the great universal laws that are governing all of us. And I say, and so we are, and so it is, and so let's go. So thank you for that brief prayer. You know, BHS has been going on for several years. In fact, I think we've been holding meetings for 45 years straight. And we've got some regulars who are chiming in to say hello. If this is your first time joining us here at BHS, our mission is to empower business professionals to be successful through education, connection, and spiritual principles. And as your meeting planner and a practitioner in training, I am doing my best to conduct these meetings to help just share what we've always shared, which is a great community of support. You know, as an entrepreneur, sometimes we find ourselves all alone, and that's no fun in a business that is sometimes overwhelming. So That's what BHS is all about, bringing like-minded business owners together who believe that at the root of their business is a spiritual, um, a, a spiritual uh, movement. It's not a movement. It's a spiritual push. It's a belief that at the root of their urge to start their own business was an intuition to be in business for themselves. So that's what I was trying to say. Today, your speaker, I will introduce him, is a best-selling author, an international speaker, and an advisor to businesses and sales professionals. He is the CEO of Epic Global Leadership and Sales Performance Consultancy, and the creator of Online Elite Producers Program that coaches individuals and organizations how to drive extraordinary results, revenue, and relationships. Here today to guide us through our biggest challenges to achieve our greatest dreams. Hold on to your seats and get ready for his energy infused presentation. Proudly from the city of Breaking Bad, would you welcome the Elite Producers Coach, Jerome Wade.
Awesome. Anthony.
Hey, Jerome, welcome to BHS.
Hey, man, thank you. I'm excited to be back with you guys again. I'm trying to remember the date that it was. Was it 2.5 years ago that I was with your crew live in Denver? Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm glad to be back
you came right into town.
It's a different venue, but I'm really excited to just share with you today and just to be back with you, first of all, because I really value the time that I was with you 2.5 years ago. And I know today we're going to have a high value experience. The insights I'll be sharing are practical. They will get you immediate results. And I'm ready to get this party started.
All right, great. Well, I'll let you take it away then. And I'll see you at the end. If somebody has a question or a comment during your presentation, I'll go ahead and pop in and let you know that somebody left a comment.
Fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate that. And by the way, during my, just to be a talking head, I want you to be engaged with me. I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm going to want you to answer those, share those in the comment thread, and then also feel free to throw some questions back my way. Anthony's going to be watching that so that he can make me aware of any questions that you might have that we need to bring up during this time that we have together. But let me share a couple of exciting things with you. First of all, let's take a look at 2020. If we would have said in January of 2020 that February and March would have shifted the tide globally, nobody would have believed it. If we would have said, most of us, many of my clients, myself, my colleagues, 2020 was going to be the year. We had created momentum. We had done our marketing. We had put things into play. We were ready for the best year ever. And then COVID hits unexpectedly, right? We could never have planned this, couldn't have foreseen this. And so here's what I want to do today. I'm going to walk you through some key strategies on how to reset, how to re-engage, and how to recreate the momentum that you need, that you deserve, that you want for your life and business. So I'm going to share my screen with you right now because I want to share some fun parts with you real quick. Let me give you an update on where things are in my life. My name is Jerome Wade. I'm the Elite Producers Coach, trainer, and keynote speaker. I love helping people create the results that they want and deserve. This year was an interesting year for my wife and I. We decided after COVID hit, we started asking some very deep questions. We started looking at life through a different lens. One of the gifts that I believe COVID gave us was an awakening, because so many of us were in just that mode of just life without purpose, life maybe even without meaning. We might be doing some good, maybe having some good success in our world. However, it created an opportunity to awaken deeper things, I think, globally. So people are asking different questions right now, looking for different answers, looking for real solutions that bring a more deep and meaningful life. This is a picture of my wife and I at, Yellowstone just a couple of months ago as we drove through. But for us, we decided to make a massive shift in our life. We sold our place in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We are now full-time RVing the United States. And today we just happen to be in Colorado. We're in Colorado Springs right now. I'm at the Cybersecurity Center right here in Colorado Springs. My daughter is getting married on Saturday, so just a couple of days away. So I'm excited about that. But this right here is our home on wheels right now. You can see our entire setup. We are RVing. We're having a blast. We've been on the road now for about 3-4 months. You can see my Jeep in the back, and behind that, on the back of my Jeep, you can see our e-bikes, and we are raving e-bike fans. So it's my wife and I, and also this is our traveling companion. This is Joey, the adventure dog, and he has been a part of the journey with us all the way through. And so we're looking at new ways now to kind of create the life that we want and the life that we have dreamed. Here's what happened in February, March when COVID hit. Caught so many of us off guard. It caught the world off guard. And what immediately happened is it stopped everyone in their tracks. Businesses that had forward momentum that seemed unstoppable or even unshakable were now at a halt. Then, because of what was happening and because of, some uncertainties and questions happening politically, in the news and everything else, now we're stooped. Not only did it stop us, it stooped us because now we don't understand what's happening. Why is this happening? Or why are we having to do things that we're doing or not doing, and not having some of the answers to the questions we were asking? But then it got so many people stuck. And I would suggest today, and I'm just going to make a guess, that there's going to be some of you today that might still feel like this because we're still in a flux with what's going to happen, where things going to go. I can tell you for me, when COVID really impacted my life was in March. This was the full beginning of the shutdown, the restrictions that were government imposed. 98% of my business left in 2 days, 48 hours. I got one phone call after another. I'm an international speaker. Events were canceled or postponed to a later date. One call after another. In 48 hours, 98% of my business was gone. What am I going to do? As an international speaker, conference and events, that industry is changing. Some are coming back slowly. Now we're full of it, like what we're today. But the reality is I was stopped. I was stooped and I was stuck. And some of you are going to feel like that's where you're at today, but I'm going to help you get unstuck today, because here's what we're all looking for. We all want to be at the top of the chart. We love it when the growth trends are going from the bottom left of the chart to the top right. We love that trend in our business, in our life, in our finances, in our projects or our initiatives that we're doing. This is what we want. We each want to be that elite producer. An elite producer is one who gets extraordinary results, who accelerates revenue, and who knows how to build high value relationships. And so today I'm going to give you some opportunities here to think through some things. But what I'd like for you to do right now is I want you to take a quick survey. I want you to go to jeromeway.com. Here's the URL right here. And Anthony, I'm not for sure if you can put that in the comment thread real quick. It's jeromeway.com/pro. And you're going to take a quick 60-second survey. And this is going to help you kind of see where you're at right now. Some of you are going to land in the red zone, and that red zone is going to reveal what the kind of that screeching halt. You're stopped, you're stooped, maybe even stuck today. No shame, no blame there. It is what it is. Some of you are going to be in the yellow zone. You're getting some traction, but you want more. Some of you are going to be in the green zone where you're getting the elite results, the elite producer results that you want. But I want you to take this quick survey, and here's what's going to happen. As you walk through this, I'm just asking you very simple questions, but these are questions just to provoke some thought, to provoke your mind, to kind of encourage it to begin to think a little bit different, or to think about some things that matter, or that matter to the success that you want. So take this quick survey, and if for some reason there's a glitch in the system, right, you're not able to do this, write this URL down. And I also want you to share this with your friends or share it with your coworkers. If you've got a team in your organization, share this so that you can talk about where each person is in your organization, because this is going to help you. So I want you to do that right now. Go to jeromeway.com/pro, take that quick survey. Now, as a result of taking this survey, I'm going to be sending you some free digital coaching resources. No strings attached. There's no hidden agenda to this. This is just free digital coaching resources that I will be sending to you that you can use to just, again, help you be thinking about what elite producers do, how they live, how they lead, how they produce results. So if you haven't taken the survey yet, make sure you do it now. Copy that URL. Go to that website right now. Take it as just a 60-second survey and get the results. Now, here's what I'd like for you to do, because some of you are already done. I'm already getting the notifiers on my phone here that people have taken the survey already. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to put in the comment thread where you landed. Now, this is a little bit vulnerable, right? Because if you landed in the red, you may not feel, confident in sharing that with anybody. But again, here's what I want you to do. No shame, no blame. Just kind of say, hey, this is where I came out. I was in the green zone, awesome. I'm in the yellow zone, frustration. I'm in the red zone. It's just things have stopped. But when we know where we are, that's when we can do something to change our current circumstances. If we stay kind of in the dark, if we stay without knowing, then that uncertainty will be a limiting factor to the success that we want. So I'm going to keep moving forward for just the sake of time here, but make sure you find out where you're at, red, yellow, or green zone. So let me talk about 3 mistakes right now that I've seen so many people make throughout COVID over the last several months. The first one is this, and this is a massive mistake. I see it at senior levels of organization, entry levels of organization. I see it in society. The first mistake that I see happening today is that we are overwhelmed by uncertainty. And the truth is, how can we not be? We have some massive uncertainties right now. We've got a national presidential election happening in just a couple of weeks. I mean, how can that not be uncertain? There's other things happening geopolitically, globally. We see so many things today that there's just questions that are not answered, that can't be answered. Many of them won't ever be answered, and some are still a ways from being answered. So we have this overwhelming sense of uncertainty. But I want you to see something today. That's a mistake so many are making that's actually limiting their ability to successfully drive through the new COVID realities that we live. Here's a second mistake that so many have made, and this one is profound. They are asking the wrong questions. We're trying to get different results. We're trying to navigate it through a new, uncharted territory here, but we're asking the wrong questions. And a wise gentleman 30-some years ago, when I was taking a leadership course in Oklahoma City, a wise elderly statesman said, listen, it's not the person who has all the answers who's the wisest. It's the person who asks the right questions. Now, today I'm going to give you 3 questions that are the right questions for you to be asking in your life today. And then finally, here's the third mistake that so many are making, and they're just forgetting the basics. We got scrambled, we got stooped, right? In that process of uncertainty, we got to our place where we're stuck, and our fears, anxieties, worries, and all of this noise in our world caused us to forget the basics. So today we're going to go back to the basics to get the results that we want. And it's really going to come down today to 3 questions. Now, here's the first question that I want you to consider today. These are going to seem very simple. I've had people discount the question because it's so stinking simple. But let me tell you this. This question is simple, but it is not easy. This is not an easy question to answer. The first question I want you to entertain today is this. What is it that you want? What is it you precisely, what is it that you want in your business, in your life? What is it that you are looking for? So here's some things that you have to understand. You have to have vivid clarity, right? When you have vivid clarity, then you can laser focus on the solutions you're trying to accomplish. Right? So many people don't know what they want. And I sit down with them, leaders of large organizations, small businesses, solopreneurs. When I sit down, I'll ask them the simple question, right? It's simple, but it's not easy. Tell them, what do you want? And it takes them a bit to answer that question. Some of you today, right now, you know what you want. I want you to write that down into the comment thread today. This is what I want. Or you might not have as much clarity on it as you want, but go ahead and write down, well, this is what I want, and let it start gestating. Let it just start refining itself. Because I know for most of us, we have to answer this question. For my wife and I, when COVID hit, it was a perfect opportunity. We had some time off, more time off than we really wanted, but it is what it is. But we started asking this question, what do we want? And that's whenever we decided we want to geographically be free for a while, a little nomadic life for a few months anyway. The good news here, you're based in Colorado. We're going to be based in Colorado. I know we're in Colorado Springs right now, but we will be, when we get back from our travels in the spring sometime, we're going to be buying a place right here in the heart of Colorado. So we have defined exactly what it is that we want. So you have to have vivid clarity. With that vivid clarity, it gives you the gift of having fierce focus. And I want you to see that word fierce, because fierce has a lot of emotion attached to it. There's a lot of energy that some people might misinterpret as negative energy. Let me tell you today, fierce focus is positive energy that you are directing in the direction of your dreams. It's fierce. You're not taking it lightly. You're not just kind of nonchalantly, going about it. You are fiercely focused. And then here's what happens. When you have vivid clarity and fierce focus, then you can intensely fight for what it is that you want. See, nothing is going to come easy ever again. Maybe it hasn't ever been easy for you, but I can tell you the new world, the new COVID world, there's going to be an intense fight for the success that you want, for the growth of your business. There's going to be an intense fight to help you create the best life that you want. But if you don't know what you're fighting for, there's no real way to fight for it. So answering this question is so important. So I want you to think about this today. What do you want? Now, obviously, we can't answer this in just a few minutes, but this should be a conversation you start having with yourself in prayer. You should be having with others, with some colleagues and people that you trust, that you love, that love you, and just say, hey guys, I'm trying to process what it is that I really want. And in your organization, your business, what is it that you want? Some of you just want to see revenue growth. Well, let's get very specific, vivid clarity. What amount of revenue growth? Some of you want to see the next level. Well, what does the next level really look like? That's the kind of things I'm talking about when you answer this question. Now, first question, and this is the right question, what do you want? Let's go to the second question. The second question that I want you to entertain today is this: what's holding you back? What is it that's keeping you from what you want? What's really keeping you from getting traction in your business? Now, a few months ago, and maybe to a degree now, we can say, well, COVID is. Well, and that's true. There is some legitimacy to that answer. But here's what I want you to see. So often, the issue that's holding us back is not what is easily identified on the surface. Here's three of them that I think are worthy of some time and some reflection. The first thing that I see holding so many people back is an unhealthy mindset. Our mind is just out of control. Anxiety, worry, overwhelm. How can we not be? This is the new COVID world. But when you have an unhealthy mindset, your mind is continually racing. And for you to get to a place of breakthrough, where you're breaking through those barriers, where you're knocking those concrete, the 10-foot thick concrete walls down, is whenever you get a healthy mindset and you actually find rest. Mind is at rest, mind is at peace. And so when that is taking place, now creativity emerges. It births. It allows itself to flourish when your mind is at rest. But if you have an unhealthy mindset, you're going to be held back. Here's another one that's huge, and this is unknown motivators. So many are limited today in growing their business and growing their life, creating their best lives ever, because they have unknown motivators. And those are things that are deep within the heart of man. These are deep within your soul that they're just unknown. You haven't identified them yet. They're motivating you. They're influencing you to behave in certain ways, to react in certain ways, to speak in certain ways, to make decisions in certain ways. And these unknown motivators are most often based on your fears, some of your deepest fears you may not even yet have identified. Some those are the obvious ones, maybe the fear of failure. Certainly that's something that all of us have to kind of address at some point. But it could be something else. I believe I shared the story with you 2.5 years ago when I was with you about my adoption. I was a little guy when I was adopted. The reality, though, is that I have this fear of rejection. See, that's an unknown motivator. And then there is the unresolved issues. That could be a past relationship that failed. That could be a past business that failed. That could be some trauma or some drama that you experienced in your life. And so you have to get to this place where you answer that question, what's holding you back? So I hope that you take this and think through these. Is there something that's unhealthy in my mindset? Is there unknown motivators that are influencing me to destruct? We're self-sabotaging. Is there unresolved issues that just keep me at a low level where I am not producing the results? I'm not accelerating growth of my business. I'm not building high value relationships. All right, so that's the second question. First question is this: what do you want? Second question is, what's holding you back? Now, here's the third question, and this has come through years of working with people and realizing what the fundamental breakdown was in execution, what the fundamental breakdown was in not getting the results they want or getting limited results, is that they weren't keeping their promises. They would put a vision in front of themselves or their team. They would set certain task goals to be accomplished, but then they weren't followed through with keeping the promise that they made. They were making promises, but they weren't keeping them. And I want you to see today that you have to make promises that you keep. If there's going to be change coming in your life, if there's going to be change coming in your relationships, if there's going to be change coming in your client performance, the growth of your company, you're going to have to make some promises, but I don't want you to be a promise maker. I want you to be that promise keeper. So what promises will you keep? When you know what you want, you identify what's holding you back, you make the appropriate promises, and you hold yourself accountable to those promises. The reality is most of us are people of integrity. We want to, honor the word. If we make a promise to somebody, we're going to not only meet it, we're going to over deliver, right? If my clients, I'm going to over deliver. And the problem though, when it comes to myself, I cheat myself sometimes. I break my promises to myself. I'd never break my promise to somebody else, but I would to myself. So here's the third question that's so important today. What promise will you keep? 3 questions today that are the right questions. What do you want? What's holding you back? And then what promises will you keep? Now, here's the reality. About 2 years ago, I think right after I was with you guys at Mile High, I trekked to Base Camp Everest. I took this picture. I'm staying at 17,000 feet. To the right over there, you can see the photograph where the clouds are covering the peak. That's actually Mount Everest right there. It looks like Mordor from Lord of the Rings. But I remember this being a pinnacle experience for me. I mean, how could it not be? You're standing at the foot of the top of the world. Everest is 29,029 feet, and I'm standing at 17,000 feet. By the way, 3,000 feet almost higher than any peak in Colorado. And that was a moment that I realized that I was doing something to put a vision in my heart and my soul for my future. And the last thing I want us to do today is I want you to think about 1 year from now. So let's just do this practice together. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to envision 1 year from now. None of us, with as difficult of a year as this has been for everybody, none of us could foresee this coming. But now we have the opportunity to create the new future. And so right now, I want you to close your eyes. I want you just to open your heart and your soul and your spirit to receive new vision right now, to receive new insight or clarifying of a dream. And I want you to see 1 year from now, what is that going to look like? 1 year from now, what is that going to be? 1 year from now, what do you want? 1 year from now, what limitations have you broken through? 1 year from now, what promises have you kept? So I can envision 1 year from now. I can see my business. I can see my family. I can see our home. I can see our life and our lifestyle. I can see adventures. I can see opportunities that are coming because I've opened myself to a bigger new life, to the best life ever. And so here's what I want you to see 1 year from now. What's it going to look like for you? And what I'd like for you to do right now is come back to our present moment. And I want you just to write down in the comment thread what that's going to look like for you 1 year from now. What do you want? What limitations will you break through? And what promises will you have kept? So I'm going to go off of the full screen here and just come back to you now. And we have had an amazing time here. I see so many of the responses now. I couldn't see it when I was in full screen mode. But here's what we're going to do right now. We're going to actually go to a Zoom link right now, and we're going to go to breakout sessions together. So I want everybody to go. Let's see. I think Anthony's going to be bringing that up on the screen right now. It's going to be bringing it up in the content thread here, the comment thread. And we are going to go to the link. There it is right there on the screen right now. So join us at that Zoom link right there, 464-679-369. I'm joining right there. So I'll see you guys in the Zoom link, and we'll have further discussions there.
Awesome. Thanks, Jerome. Great presentation. I'm so glad you were able to be with us.
Thank you, sir.
what are we going to be talking? I know we're going to break into small groups. What are
Yeah.
we going to be talking about in those groups?
Perfect. Well, the big question is really in two parts. The first big question that we're going to be talking about in the breakout sessions is what's limiting us? Is it the unhealthy mindsets? Is it the unknown motivators? Is it the unresolved issues? And so we want to walk through that and give people time to process that in a very safe place to do that. So that's what will be happening primarily. But secondarily, if the groups have time, I really want them to start answering together and hearing from each other to inspire and encourage each other. 1 year from now, what do they see? What will be happening and what do they see? So those are the two things: what limitations, and then what 1 year from now will they be experiencing?
Okay, great. Well, it's 8:30, and we share some time in these small groups, and it's the closest thing we can do to meeting in person, to business networking. So we invite you to join us. If you're watching this call right now, we'll be over there in about 2 minutes and kick off that meeting. I'll see you over there, Jerome.
See you in Zoom. Yep.
Okay. All right. So thank you to Jerome for coming on our broadcast. Remember, in 2 weeks, we've got Andre Van Hall, the curiosity instigator, and his presentation, Being Curious in Business. That's on November 5th. So I hope you'll join us for that. Andre is an incredible story of overcoming blindness as a business owner. And just by being curious, he was able to be successful even though he lost his sight. So it's an incredible, inspirational story. Thanks again for joining us. If you're not familiar with Zoom, you can go to zoom.us and type in our code 464-679-369. So that's in the comments below. I'm going to put it on the screen before I close this broadcast. Most everybody else is over there. So I'll see you soon.